Welcome to episode number 54. I think I did that right. Of Reezy Talks. Today we're going to be talking about online arbitrage, and we have a super special guest, and I'll just let him introduce himself.
G'day, mate. Alex Moss from Tactical Arbitrage. How you doing, Reezy?
I'm doing great, man. I'm glad to have you on the show. It's like, what is it, like 11 a.m. for you right now, and it's tomorrow, so you're living in the future in Australia?
I'm deliberating right now because you told me that these are usually sort of a fireside chat where everybody grabs a beer and that kind of thing. I'm thinking 11 o'clock in the morning. Even an Australian normally will hesitate at an 11 in the morning beer, but I did get one on standby just in case. Well, you've got
what kind of beer is that in a purple can?
This is a local brewery, Newstead Brewery. I think they're a Brisbane brewery. Yeah, they are. And
I'm gonna have to get one of those when I come out to Australia.
It's a session pale ale, so it's easy drinking. Well, I can't let you drink alone, so my wife can.
Yeah, no.
I'll blame you.
Friends don't let friends drink alone, right? Cheers.
Absolutely. Cheers to you, mate.
I'm hoping that I get a chance to come out to Australia to speak at some kind of Amazon conference in the near future, seeing as how Amazon is expanding out to Australia. Should be pretty good.
Yeah, I'm waiting to unlock the Amazon Australia feature within Tactical Arbitrage, actually. My hesitation is we could actually unlock it so that it works right now, but so much of what we do is integrated with the Keeper tool. I really believe that Keeper is the benchmark-free extension that you should be using for sales tracking and sales estimates and that kind of thing. And I've been speaking to the guy over at Keeper, and he said the doors should open on that connection any day now. And as soon as that switch gets flipped for him, then I'll flip the switch over here, and then utilizing it for Amazon Australia will be cool too. But we have a few conferences coming up for online sales in general. Forget the name of the big one that's coming out in May. But
because you guys don't have FBA yet in Australia, right?
We do. They've just unlocked fulfillment by Amazon, so it's kind of been a staged rollout. So when they launched it, which is right near the end of last year, it was merchant fulfilled only, and then about a month ago, they've unlocked fulfillment by Amazon. So we're just waiting on the secondary API, which is the product advertising API, to get unlocked. That'll unlock a few things within Tactical Arbitrage, and it will unlock the Keeper feature. And then we'll open it up in Tactical Arbitrage, and we've already got, I think, 30.
Very, very exciting times, right?
Yeah, I'm pumped. It'll be nice to have all that stuff local, and it's caused a moral dilemma for me because I deliberately don't sell anymore on Amazon, because that way nobody can ever say, well, obviously you have access to all the big data and you've got the advantage.
Right.
And I'm thinking, well, does that rule really apply in my own backyard? But I guess that there's Australian sellers here too, so I kind of have to be wary.
You don't have time for that. You don't have time for that, anyways. You're way too busy with the software.
We have staff, but yeah, but we kind of have those guys dedicated on building the software.
Right, but you do pretty well for yourself off the software, though, right?
Yeah, but there is a distinct advantage to me actually utilizing the software as a seller as well.
Right.
We don't get every single support ticket come through. Some people might see something and then them just not report it. And I'm sort of utilizing the software with a guy in the room beside me. Even if I'm utilizing it maybe and not sending stuff in more often,
right,
then I'm constantly in my own office beta testing it. See, at the moment we're relying on a lot of support tickets because
I got a perfect solution.
What's that?
You source the products. I'll set up my own Australia Amazon FBA account, and you ship them into my Australia FBA account.
That's win-win.
Yeah, I'm sure both of those wins are my win. So, guys, if you don't know what online arbitrage is the practice of buying stuff online and then selling them for a profit, usually back online. And in this situation, we're talking about Amazon for the most part, although I'm sure people use this software to sell on all kinds of different websites. But mostly Amazon is what we're talking about. And it's just really cool to be able to buy stuff from your desk. You know, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and as much as I get out and hustle, I don't have a ton of time to go. You know, I'm. It's not like I see some people that do RA. They drive like 3 hours one way, like it's no big deal. You know, I can't do that. I might have 3 hours. You know, only 2 or 3 days a week total. So for me, that means I have to be local, and I'm super limited, right? So if I can shop online, that opens up a million things. Then they ship it to you, and you get packing supplies when they ship you stuff, and then you just process it and ship it out. Or even better, you can hire a fulfillment service so that you never even have to see the stuff or touch it. You order it online and ship it directly to a fulfillment service, and they box it up, sticker it, bag it, whatever, and ship it off to your Amazon account for you. How cool would that be?
If you're smart about it as well, you can get fulfillment centers in 0% sales tax states. So when you're making your order and you're shipping directly to those guys to fulfill, then you're not going to pay sales tax on the order as well, which helps mitigate some of the expenses you might have in those guys actually packaging it up and sending it in for you. Because a lot of those guys are only maybe $1 or $1.35 or something to
an item, right?
Yeah. And so if you're looking at a $20 item and it's a 5% sales tax, I mean, there's your dollar right there. So
right, yeah. And I don't know what everyone else pays, but in California, at least in the county that I live, I pay 8.25% sales tax. So it's pretty hefty.
That adds up.
Yeah, and you can't on a lot of websites you can get your seller permit and get a tax exclusion, but it doesn't work on every website. Some websites are not friendly with resellers, so they're not going to allow you to do that. But if you ship it to a tax-free state, you're already saving money, right? And some people actually operate on margins of like 15% or 20%. And that, if you're paying 8% tax and that's less that's like 50% of your profit right there. Obviously, they're probably selling more expensive items, but huge benefit. So let's get into the story a little bit, Alex. I imagine you used to be an Amazon seller. How long ago was that? Let's talk about that journey, how you came up with the idea for the software, got into it, all the way up till now.
So a few years ago, my friend, I was juggling a few jobs. I actually used to work for a USA company, CBS, and their TV show Survivor, and I was doing some of the behind-the-scenes editing for their YouTube channel. And the work's periodic. I mean, they don't pump out shows all year long. And I decided I wanted to supplement that income with some online sales, because sales is my long-term background. And my friend Nigel, he said to me, well, I'm doing this Amazon, Fulfillment by Amazon thing, and I think a lot of people's stories are the same. You just sort of heard about it from a friend or a colleague, and they were already into it. And you gave it a look, and you could see the potential. And so this is what happened with me. And being in Australia, I also had to navigate the world of fulfillment centers to sell from an Amazon store to USA Amazon.com. I had to sort of work all that out and all of those systems. But in addition to those additional hurdles that I had to go through being all the way on the other side of the world, I realized that the system itself was extremely time consuming. I'd have to go to like a store, and we'll use Walmart as an example. I'd have to go to a store and maybe find a particular clearance category, and I'd have to cut the title, and then I'd take that over to Amazon and I'd paste the title, and then I'd wait for the results, and then I'd look at the two numbers and think, it's about 2 times the amount. Now I have to do the sums. Then I'd have to go to the Seller Central calculator, and I'd have to see whether or not there was any arbitrage opportunity in this particular product. And at the end of that whole process, that might take, you get better at it, but it might take you a couple of minutes per product. You could see whether there's a yay or a nay and then move on to the next one. And it would take an entire day to go through a single category. And I said, this is brutal. Like, what is this really how people do this? And I asked around, and that was the consensus. Everybody's doing the same thing. And all the videos out there and the tutorials on how to do it were this method. And I said, there's got to be a faster way than this. So for myself, for my own sales and for my own arbitrage opportunities, I designed the software to make it easier and better for me to sell. And as that software improved and it became more automated, and I could go through hundreds of listings per hour, and now it's much more than that. But as it got to that kind of level, that's when I started realizing that other people may be interested in this as well.
And did you develop this on yourself? Are you a programmer, or did you hire someone?
I'm a producer by trade, so I tend to like have the idea and all of the tasks, and I get the people around me that I need to do this. So I have some very basic coding background, but I hire some people that are a lot smarter than me. And if I find after a short space of time they're not good enough, I kind of sack those guys and get somebody even better than them. And I stack those people until I just have a crack team of awesome resources. And that's kind of what I got right now. I've got some really good guys that are working around the clock, 7 days a week.
I think that's a very important tip for people that wanting to outsource any business, is that you need to hire people that are smarter than you. Because
Absolutely.
if they're not smarter than you, what the hell are they doing? You should just do their job. You know what I mean? I mean, not that you don't have better things to do, but you want people that are going to be able to add value to the business, not just do what you say. Like, here's a list, do that. Okay, it's done. Like, cool. That's like a very low level worker. If you want, a great employee, they have to be able to have oversight, to understand what's going on, to be able to give ideas, to help shape, help steer the boat where it's going, not just, make sure it's still going.
Yeah, and certainly from a management point of view, I've conceptualized the majority of the ideas. I should give a shout out to the support ticketing section of Tactical Arbitrage, because we do get ideas coming through that are very useful that haven't come from my own head, and we do try to integrate as many of those as possible. But when I came up with sort of the image matching algorithm, I knew that would be a difficult task to sort of systemize. So we had to sort of organize people with different professions and put them together in you know what I mean. It's a complicated process to come up with every single little feature that you add to software, and you can't just give somebody the instruction, add this feature to Tactical Arbitrage. You have to put all the pieces in place and then say go, and then sort of watch that evolve and help guide it on its path to the evolution.
Let's briefly touch on the image matching, because you recently improved the image matching, right? Or that's a brand new feature that just came out.
Yeah, so what it was is there's two things that are very important to me in Tactical Arbitrage, and I think that it's the main two things that everybody would consider are the most important things. One is speed, getting through as many results as fast as humanly possible, and the other one to me is accuracy. There's no point in getting hundreds of results if none of them match the original source site to Amazon. If you're looking at a dog food bowl over here and it's matched to a bonsai tree over here, then it's just wasting your time to go and select that, delete it, and whatnot. So,
right.
So there's two types of matching. There's universal product code matching, which is really nice. Obviously, it's just a barcode on the box, and the barcode over here matches the barcode at Amazon. Voila, you have a match. In most cases, there's a bit of quantity matching algorithm that we're working on in the background for when there's multi-packs, but for the most part, a UPC match is a UPC match. The next level that you've got there is traditionally done via a title match, and it's, as I mentioned before, it's the equivalent of cutting a title from one site and then pasting it into the Amazon search bar and having a look for that matched product. Now, the thing is, you'll often get a lot of false type flags with that, and you'll see a lot of things that aren't necessarily the item that you're looking at. So we worked on this took 16 months, but it could have been faster, but we had to iterate through a few guys along the way that weren't quite at the caliber we needed to fulfill this. Obviously, there's hundreds of millions of images on Amazon, and we had to go through all of them and index the entire catalog in every single country of Amazon. This was a massive task, and not only did it need to be indexed correctly, but it had to be indexed with the correct algorithms. Right from the start, we had to know the correct algorithms, or else it would make...
Do you know how large that database is, the images?
It's how big is the database of images?
Yeah, do you know like the file size? I imagine it's massive.
Oh, I'd have to speak to my guys on this, but I know we have got around 8 servers running this process at the moment. Some of them are the largest servers that Amazon, the EC2 people actually have, and they're costing me a mint just to run this one feature. But anyway, wow. So the concept is that the title matching is not good enough. If we could somehow fuse that with image matching, and not only image matching like a Spider-Man with the identical Spider-Man, but Spider-Man with Spider-Man in a slightly different pose as well. We want it to still match the same Spider-Man, you know. So
Wow.
So to get that kind of match happening on the title match pages and evolve those to a title/image match, then it would mean that overall the results would be better for everybody. More deals would appear because we have maybe 40% of our sites as universal product code sites, but the other 60% were not always useful sites. Some of them had poor matching by title, but now all of these have risen to the surface and they're all got great matches. And we've got maybe 900 websites you can search in Tactical Arbitrage now to do to source from, and I'd say that all of those 900 now are useful to source from because you've got that extra layer of image matching on top of the title matching.
Wow. So let's real quick. What are the different ways you can search, use Tactical Arbitrage?
Okay, so you've got a traditional product search, which is, as we've discussed, where you're looking at one store and you're looking to compare that against a product on Amazon and see whether or not there's any return on investment by buying from here and selling on here. There's reverse search, which is kind of exactly how it sounds. You look at a product on Amazon and then you reach back into our database of stores to have a look whether or not any of those stores currently have a promotion on where you can make profit from any of those stores. So let's say you've got that Spider-Man toy we talked about, and it's $30 over on Amazon. If I ran that through reverse search, it might say, hang on, that same item is for $7 over on Walmart, it's $13 on Target, it's $16 on Kohl's. There's potential ROI if you purchase from any of those stores or all of those stores, and it'll tell you the best place to buy from in that direction. There's wholesale searches where if you import a manifest, which you might have got from a wholesaler of all of their items, usually they'll come with a universal product code, and you import that into Tactical Arbitrage, it'll spit out matches and whether or not there's any profit in those. We've recently enhanced that with a third-party company that you can now actually search logged-in wholesale sites, and that's pretty big. That's brand new. We've also got...
And that's built into regular Tactical Arbitrage?
It's a third-party... so it's a third-party product that was made with Tactical Arbitrage in mind, and we built the software to accommodate his plugin. So the gentleman's name is Javier San Juan. I think I'm pronouncing that right. He's from Spain, and he created the algorithm where it's an XPath, and I don't want to get too complicated to those who are doing it at home, but an XPath allows you to add additional sites to Tactical Arbitrage that are not any of the 900. So Tactical Arbitrage is very expandable because if you've got an extra 500 sites that you want to scan from, then you can add those sites piecemeal to Tactical Arbitrage using a tool called XPath, which is built into Tactical
those would be private to yourself, yes?
They will be private to yourself, unless somebody else has built one for the same domain, for example.
Right.
But this fellow Javier has created a more complex version of XPath, which allows you to work behind a logged-in site. Now, some wholesalers will make you log into their website before you'll see their price lists for privacy reasons, and also so that they can allocate pricing uniquely to you, which somebody else may have a different set of pricing. So anyway, he has created an XPath which will work with logged in sites. It's a whole different batch of code. And I said, all right, well, you've done that. I will add a feature to Tactical Arbitrage which is basically a gateway which will accept his XPaths. So you still have to go to him and purchase these unique piecemeal third-party XPath products, these premium XPaths, he calls them. But they will work within Tactical Arbitrage now straight on the wholesale page. So that's really cool. I'm excited about that. And on top of that, we've got library search, which is for sourcing books.
That really quick, not to interrupt you, but that is very exciting. So previously, I mean, we've been able to search, spreadsheets of products, but not every wholesaler will give you a spreadsheet. Some of them just give you a paper catalog book. Or, like you're saying, I think almost every single one probably has a web interface as well. Probably not too many that only have the paper catalog. But this means, you don't have to go through one by one manually which, you know, there's a lot of successful wholesalers that basically spend most of their day just manually drilling through catalogs. So this could, you know, potentially open up to a lot more profit, and you could spend your time focusing on making more wholesale relations versus scanning a catalog.
Absolutely. I love the new feature. It was I was recently at the ASD conference in Las Vegas, which is primarily a wholesale conference. And the most common question that I was asked is, will you make tactical arbitrage accept logged in wholesale sites? Now, the only thing is that it's a tacticalbucket.com, which is not tactical arbitrage. It's a third-party tool, tacticalbucket.com, but it works completely within tactical arbitrage. So once you've actually signed up with their membership and you've got them to make some sites for your key wholesalers, you can just run those directly in tactical arbitrage.
And you have previously integrated that into tactical arbitrage also, correct? For like easy bulk lists or something?
Yes, so Easy Bulk will also work for the premium wholesale things. You know what else will work, and this is cool? The image matching algorithm, when there's no UPCs, will also work for wholesale for these premium XPath sites. So anybody who is a wholesaler that's watching this that is interested in scanning wholesale sites that require a login, I suggest you start by going over to tacticalbucket.com. Organizing the sites that you're interested in scanning with Javier, and then you'll be able to scan those directly within your existing.
So I'm imagining he has a database of some already, and you have to request ones that aren't on there if you need them, or how does that work?
He's actually really good about it. He doesn't want to just give sites that are publicly available. So this is one of the reasons, I guess, that he charges per site. You ask him, you say, look, I've got a relationship with bobsbasketballs.com.
I love that place.
It's awesome, man. Anyway, he will create the site specifically for you. And that's why, I mean, it's better that it's this way than me just having 50 sites within, because the wholesale market's going to be a lot smaller than the public sector of domains. So obviously there's a lot of wholesale sites, but it's not like, you know, there's the 1,000 sites that I can add to tactical arbitrage in the product search page. The wholesale ones, you don't really want everybody knowing your niche. And if you've got Bob's Basketballs there in the public list, people are going to start looking into it. So you go to Javier, you say, I'd like to add Bob's Basketballs. He creates that specific premium XPath for you. You import it into tactical arbitrage. You can start scanning it. It's not to say that another person may not at some point come along and say, I heard Bob's Basketballs got some really cool balls. But he will definitely do his best to...
We're trying our best to be adults here.
Yeah.
Okay, so wholesale. Next, you were talking about the library search feature, which I believe is for searching books, yes?
Yeah, so the library search feature is about basically finding books that may be being sold, say, by a merchant fulfilled seller. It could be sold for like a penny plus a few dollars shipping. And then you wanted to send those back in and sell them as a fulfillment by Amazon customer, and try and secure that buy box in preference to a merchant fulfilled seller and resell that at a premium. And there is a lot of opportunities out there. I can't seem to run a library search scan without seeing dozens of potential flips there. So I like that. We integrated a cool little feature which does matching against the conditions. So if you've got a very good versus a very good, it gives you like little indicators so that you know whether or not you're likely to get that same kind of return because of the condition.
Right.
And also we've got it set up so that you can do new to new, not only within Amazon, but say you scan Barnes and Noble and try to sell that over at Amazon as well. So there's a few different ways you can utilize the library feature. It's pretty cool. We're looking at doing some upgrades to that at the moment, and we haven't evolved that page in a couple of months. So that one and the Amazon.
You can scan anything, right? eBay is a source, correct?
Yeah, we got half.ebay on there as well. We've got, I think it's about half.
Regular eBay in general too, as a source for products, is on there.
On library search, I think it's half.ebay, which is the
Well,
book.
on product search, I was talking about.
Oh, on product search, yeah, you can search eBay as well. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. There's a lot of flips out there, between eBay and Amazon. Pretty awesome. So, you got product search, you got reverse search, you got wholesale, and you got library. That's pretty much it, yeah?
We've got Amazon Flips as well,
Oh
which is
yeah, Amazon flips 5 different types of searches.
yeah, and you can run them all simultaneously. There's nothing to stop you from starting a search over a product search and going, oh, that's going to take me an hour to run that search. I might as well start a reverse search and then start one of each search.
What if my computer is like from the dinosaur era? Is it going to run really slow on a search?
No, it's all done in the, I guess what they call the cloud, but basically on servers. So once you've started the searches, then we're all doing it up in the servers, and it's not going to be, the speed of your computer is not going to affect it. Where your speed of computer might come in is when you're maybe navigating what's called the view data page. If you're trying to look at 100 products on the page at once, there's a lot going on that page. And all I'd suggest, if your computer does run a bit sluggishly, is maybe switching that to only show, say, 25 items per page or 10 items per page, just so that we can handle what's on that view data page with a little more of your local memory. But as far as running a scan goes, it's not going to be affected at all by speeds.
Awesome. So let's look at the software and go through like a basic scan and see maybe if we can find anything. But at the very least, just show everyone how it works, because I know that for myself, the very first time that I don't like to read instructions, right? And so I just try to use it without watching any videos or anything. And I was basically like 45 minutes later, I was like, Jesus, this whole thing is like a foreign language. How does this work,
To me, I can see it all, but I imagine it's like a pilot stepping into the cockpit of a plane and just seeing all those dials,
Right. Yeah, exactly. Now I don't even understand how I could not realize it, because it seems pretty intuitive to me now, the way it works. But at least we'll give everyone a little bit of guidance, and then they could understand how to do a search, how to set your filters, etc. And most importantly, I think not only just doing the search, but seeing what the results screen looks like and being able to go through them and understand, okay, there's something that doesn't match. Okay, well, that's actually a multi-pack. And, because I haven't watched a ton of videos, and I'm sure I could learn a lot if I watched some different videos from maybe Christopher or you or Nate or something. But the way I generally do it is I just have the sales rank graph up, and I'll probably sort it by either by average rank or by like a highest ROI or something. And then I just go through and look for for graphs that look good. And when the graph looks good, I slow down and I check everything out. And then I just go through pretty fast. I'm just looking for good graphs.
Yeah, good graphs are where it's at. And as far as the quantity matching thing goes, I shouldn't give too much away, because these days I'm not the only one in the space, and I've got some guys that are following me. As I create something, then a few weeks later they're adding it to their thing rather than. So I mean, I'm always looking to stay ahead of the pack, but I have to be careful how much I give away as to what's coming up, so that you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So regarding the quantity matching thing, let's just say that there's a new algorithm coming, so that let's say, for instance, Walmart's selling one shampoo, but over on Amazon it's a 3-pack of shampoos.
Yeah.
And there's a really bad way of matching that, which is using the Amazon API, because the information on quantities in the Amazon API, it's like the only thing in the Amazon API that's completely inaccurate. So
it's like it'll say like 1 pack, but it's 3 shampoos, or it'll say it'll say a 3-pack and it's a toy that has 3 parts or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so it's so wrong that we could never make that an automated process. But we seem to have cracked the code on how to get all of these automatically matching in most circumstances. So I think it's probably about 2 weeks away. But in the near future, the software will be, as it sees products, automatically connecting the correct pack quantity so that you can make those bundles more efficiently with confidence that the return on investment.
That's awesome, because that's probably one of my main pet peeves, is that at least 50% of the time when I find a good product, it's it's a multi-pack, I kind of almost like recognize it without even checking the quantity, because I see that the profit's just too good. And the rank, I'm like, if with anything with this rank is being looked at by a lot of people, there's no way it's a $4 item and you're making $12. It's a 3-pack and you're making 8 cents or something like that.
Well, not only will this algorithm fix that up, but it won't even appear in your results, because it will have already done the ROI calculation. And if your return on investment is set to say, show more than 20%, if it's going to be under that, it's not going to show you anyway.
Wow.
So it's going to clean up your view data results a lot more. So let me jump into a product search. Actually, if you've got 10 seconds, I'll grab a second beer. Are you on your next one?
I think I'm gonna wait till my wife gets home and I'll have her bring me one. I can't really get out of my chair right now. It's not comfortable. We're on the second beer of the show. I might turn that into a thing. So, go to let's see what time we're at. Go to oh, I can't see the time. Whatever time we're at, we'll just say 40 minutes in for beer 2, part 2, beer 2.
I'm good. After this, I'll stop for the day, basically. Maybe have one with dinner. But I couldn't let you drink alone for this particular segment. So.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that.
So let me share the screen.
Yeah, let's get your screen shared.
And we'll go. All right. So this is the product search page. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, let's back out real quick to the main screen so that they don't get freaked out when they see the dashboard, because I think if the dashboard freaks people out.
Okay. So the dashboard is not designed to freak anybody out. Can you let me see.
Yeah, we can see it.
I can make this, if that all looks too small, I can squash it up a little bit. Whatever you like.
That's fine.
All right, cool. So down, it's these 5 bars that are probably going to be the most interesting thing to you. Everything else is kind of like a menu, really. You've got your menu on the left here, which you can close and you can open if you want more real estate. You've got product search status, Amazon Flip status, reverse search status, library search status, and wholesale search status. Now, if a search is running, this little red dot here is going to turn green and be pulsing. It is your one mission in life to make all of these red dots green and pulsing at any one time. So if you see one stop, then you should be either checking the results in there or starting a new scan. There is no reason you can't have 5 profit streams generating simultaneously, and you might as well do it. So I always tell people that, because sometimes people get us to check their account and I might see all red dots or one green dot here. And I'm thinking, wow, this guy's paying for the full tactical arbitrage suite, but he's not utilizing the full tactical arbitrage suite.
Right. So and you can have your someone that works for you on your team running those scans for you, correct?
Oh, for sure. This is the perfect opportunity to get a virtual assistant. And you can decide.
That way, when you wake up, you have results ready to go through. Or even better, you have them go through the results for you and just present you with a list of the ones that were worth your time looking at.
Well, for sure, they can put results for you directly into a saved folder, and then you can go through the saved folder later as like a final check before you make those purchases. It depends on sort of what you want. Like, I love running the product search page, so you might want to give a virtual assistant, say, the other 4 pages while you dedicate yourself to the product search page.
Real quick, I just want to let everyone who's watching this know, if you've ever purchased a BOLO list for online arbitrage, this is be on the lookout, a list for products you can go buy and sell elsewhere to make money. 99.99% chance that list was made using this software. And that presents another opportunity for you guys. If you are using this software, you now have the ability to make lists and sell them to other people. I have a follower that is selling BOLO lists on Fiverr, and he's doing pretty well. So there's really no limit to what you could do, once you can unearth the good products. You're definitely going to be able to find more stuff than you can buy, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I don't know if I've made it too publicly aware, but what I recently did is I added a feature for people who wanted to make bolo lists where when you're exporting a CSV of products, you can export only the visible columns and rows. So let's say, for example, you are making a bolo and normally you have, say, the source link. You don't want to bother with the images, for example, but you want the buy price, and you want sort of the sell link and the sell price and the return on investment, and you want to keep that nice and simple. Well, you can hide a bunch of these like columns that you don't need, and go through and say, well, I don't really want to keep a graph link in there. And you can clean that right up so you're happy with it being a bolo list. And then when you export it, you can just export visible columns and rows only. So you've already sorted and got rid of the rows that you don't like, or maybe you've filtered down to the ones just that you know are going to be good in a bolo list. And then when you export it, it's pretty much ready to stick onto Gumroad and sell. So so that's just a little way of fast tracking that side business if anybody wants to run that
and really, I'm not saying you have to do that business, but you definitely have that option, and that's cool to know that you could easily make back your subscription cost for the software.
Yeah, so let me go back to the product search page now and explain this to those who aren't in the know. And a lot of people watching probably have used or are aware of tactical arbitrage, but there'll be some here for sure who aren't aware. And I should mention something that you mentioned earlier, and it's in relation to being a newbie. So there's two things that we've done for that. The first thing is I've put a video guide on the side here, and the video guide is there for every single page. So on the product search page, actually I still have to do it for flips, but on the product search page, you'll see all the videos here are related to product search, and that is essentially the tutorial guide to operating product search. By the time you've watched those 18 videos, you absolutely will know how to run a product search, and most of these videos are only about 2 to 3 minutes long each. There's a couple longer ones, but in this hour or hour and a half of education, you will know how to start a scan and run it effectively. Now, over on the View Data page, of course, when you hit Video Guide, you'll see a completely different set of videos related to View Data. And that's kind of the way we've done it. One of the most important ones to check out is the videos on the settings page. There is a lot of settings you can do to elevate your experience with tactical arbitrage from a basic user to an advanced user just by applying a few tweaks in the settings section. So I would recommend anybody also watch those videos. Now, the second thing that we're doing is creating basically a newbie look for all of these pages. So whereas there may be 30 different filters on here, the newbie look is going to bring this right down to the 5 most used filters and simplify this. And over on the View Data page, it's the same. We're just going to bring the key few columns here that people are interested in. And there'll be a toggle switch up the top for those who are a little bit daunted at first by the look of the advanced panel, that they can start maybe running sort of newbie sort of look scans and then evolve to the advanced panel if they find this too daunting when they first look at it. To me, I like to see as much data as possible, so I'm the kind of person who would have started using this and just stuck with this advanced look straight away. But I do understand that there are some people who prefer to just start with sort of a basic look, and so we are creating at the moment a newbie variant on Tactical Arbitrage you can toggle between. So those two things should help. The dashboard as it is right now is broken into 2 sections. At the top, it's basically saying where you want to scan. And then down here, you're basically saying what you're willing to see in your results. So in the top section here, you're saying, okay, I'm willing to scan, I want to scan one of these sites. Now, knowing where to start with all these sites is a bit of an art. There's a lot of people who sign up to every one of the email lists from all of these companies and just basically dedicate an email account to that. and they just check their email each morning and they say, okay, well, partsexpress.com today is having a 30% off sale, or PetSmart's having 25% off today, and it just comes through their inbox all the time, and they try and ride those sales and clearance specials and whatnot that come through their inbox. There are other companies that actually put these lists together for you. There's one called a Step Ahead Group. There's another one called Tactical Bucket Runs one as well. There are places that you can actually get all of this information for you delivered to you in a more sort of consolidated manner. So this morning, and I'll just quickly pick the where now. So this morning I just picked a few sites at random, and it can really be that simple. Like you can just go to any one here. I'll just say Bed Bath & Beyond normally has something. I haven't checked that yet today. And normally the sale is just plastered all over the page right at the top. I apologize if this is slow. I've just moved into a new office and they haven't hooked up my fast internet yet. So I can see Bed Bath & Beyond has got, they've got a 20%, this one's trying to funnel me to Australia, 20% off the entire purchase every time you shop if you join the Beyond Plus beta. So that might be interesting. Sally Beauty I was at earlier today, and I thought this has got to have profitable items for sure, because when I opened this page earlier today, I saw the following, and you'll see this too. It is 30% off over $50 online purchase, and I checked this in the shopping cart. It was stacking with things like buy one, get one 50% off. Now, not only that, and this is I know I've digressed here, but this is really important about this bottom section here, about choosing how to sort of orchestrate your scan in a way that shows you the most profitable items. This top section here, store price reductions. This is where you're going to put in all of those discounts. So let's say it's 30% off store-wide if you're going to spend more than $50, right? And then it's another buy one, get one 50% off. That's going to be another 25% here. Now, if I go over to Sally Beauty again, and I use this little extension that I've got called Rev ROI, which this is actually a Christopher Grant extension. If you want to reach out to Christopher Grant, this is a great tool to have, and I use it every time I go to a site. It's going to tell me that top cashback, if I use their link to buy from, is also going to give me 5% cashback discount. And are you still there, Reezy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I haven't lost you yet. Okay, great. And there's discount gift cards available over at Card Cash to use in checkout of 16.4%. So we're looking at another 21%. Now, this is rare because normally you never go more than these three boxes. There might be a category discount, a cashback site, and a store discount. This is one of those rare instances where I've seen a buy one, get one half price, plus 30% off store-wide, plus a cashback, plus a, I mean, these items are going to be very cheap by the time that you apply all of those discounts. So I ran a bit of a search earlier. I did this about 20 minutes before Reezy got me online. And the items, and this is cool because this actually showcases the fact that we're doing image matching now, and this is actually not a UPC match site. You can tell because if I go to this UPC column over here, you can see these guys are blank. There's no UPCs on this Sally Beauty site. Not only that, but we have a feature called cache built into Tactical Arbitrage. So it goes really fast if somebody has scanned this particular site recently, like in the last few days, it'll go really fast. This site wasn't being scanned fast. That means that nobody out of all of the members in the Tactical Arbitrage database has even really scanned this site in the last few days. And look at these image matches. These are perfect matches all the way down. And not all of them are fantastic sellers. I did set a rank limit, but I must have set the rank limit a little bit too loose because there are some coming through here that I certainly wouldn't buy, but there are certainly some here that are selling as well. And that is cool because what it's doing is it's taking the price, it's applying all of the discounts, and then if you come over here, it's telling you the buy box price, the return after fees, what the gross profit is, and whether or not you're going to make profit on that item. And some are obviously going to be better than others. This guy here is just at a glance, and I have to drill into it a bit further, but it looks like it is normally $2.39, 99 cents after all of the discounts. And I have to check this at Amazon, but it seems like it's selling for $15.23, $7.83 after fees, with a $6.84 profit. Certainly there's a lot more due diligence you need to do than just that perfunctory glance, but there are profitable items by running that kind of a scan. You need to apply these store price reductions. It's imperative that you do that, because that's where you're going to see those return on investments, those margins, that arbitrage really start to come to the surface. And
that's actually one of the main things a lot of people don't really do. So like a lot of the times when I'll hear people say, I can't find anything on tactical arbitrage, not only do they have their results set up really high to where they're like, well, I only want to see stuff that's 40% ROI and under 100,000 rank and et cetera, which is not great, because you should set it looser. And then, because what if it's 40,001? You know what I mean? Like, but also they're not adding in the deals, the savings from the stores, the cashback, et cetera. And other people are. So while you're saying, you can't find anything, Alex is buying shampoo for $1 and selling it for $12 and making $5 profit.
Absolutely. And the funny thing is that little bit of due diligence, by putting in just something here, you might see 4 items more that the guy who hasn't got anything in there, or you might, if you've got like something in every single box here, you might see 15 items, and somebody who hasn't filled these boxes out might just see 1 item, for example. So you will be tripping over less items that somebody else has discovered if you've utilized this store price reductions filter. So I'm a stickler for saying this is the most important filter here. I mean, ranks is an important filter, sure. You certainly don't want to see ranks of 1 million or 500,000 or something, but I also keep this loose. Depending on the category, like toys, for example, I might say, show me anything under 400,000, because you might get something with a really good margin and a really good ROI that's maybe just selling twice a month, but there's only 2 sellers on it, and then merchant fulfilled sellers. So there's an opportunity there for you. I mean, even to sell those couple a month and make that $22 per item or something a couple of times a month, it's good to just shove that into your replenishables and just add to your bottom line. So I still try and keep all my other filters loose. Reezy just touched on it then, with the 40,000 rank, but it really depends category to category what rank you set there. But either way, I do suggest keeping it loose. And there is, in the settings page, you can actually set a rank limit for each individual category. So you can say, okay, well, shoes, I don't want to see more than 25,000 rank on shoes, or 20,000 rank on shoes, for example. Shouldn't use shoes as an example because they kind of bundle it all into clothing these days. But used to be sort of shoes had its own category. Now, the other filters I look at, and there's lots of filters here. There's remove if number of reviews is less than a certain amount. Remove if Amazon title contains the word. And the most important ones I really think are maybe the reductions, the ranks, and gross ROI. Now, gross ROI, I also keep this super loose. I say, let's have a look at anything that is at least 5% ROI. And your knee-jerk reaction might be 5% ROI. There's going to be nothing in that. There's no reason for me to search that at all. So let me try and find something with a low ROI. This one here's got, look at these, new sellers. There's only 4 sellers on some of these. This is ridiculous. This guy's got 1 seller. I mean, obviously you need to check these. They're not restricted to your account, or they're not a hazmat item and that kind of thing. And we are adding in some features in the near future to try and help people indicate that, whether or not the item may be hazmat or maybe restricted to your account. But if I go to this guy here, and it'll do a little additional drill down into this product, it's going to tell me, and I'll do that to a couple actually. find another guy here. Let's say 2 items on this guy. So what it's going to do is it's going to analyze and tell me a little bit about the people currently selling this item. So this guy is selling it for these figures are too low, by the way. Buying this for 91 cents and selling for $1.53. I'm not interested in that. And you probably do want to maybe add in there a price point. Only keep the data if the gross profit is at least maybe $3 or something, or $4. You want to maybe have a bit of a cutoff there, because selling stuff for 91 cents isn't really any good. But that doesn't actually affect what I'm trying to show you here. What this is trying to tell you is that this guy's only got 7 items in stock, and when he sells out, the price is going to jump up to the next tier, at which point the gross ROI is going to step up. Now, the estimated sales in this case is less than 3 per month. So this and the price is not right. So this isn't one that I'd be interested in. But if you can imagine, for instance, that there's a product with say 5 sellers on it, and maybe it's a $30 product, and the first guy has got like 4 items in stock, just the 4, and then there's maybe a $6 increase to the next guy. If the estimated monthly sales are high, then you know that he's going to sell out soon, and you can price at a higher point. So the tactical edge page is good for you to actually drill down into a product and let that affect your pricing structure as well.
That's awesome. I never even clicked on that, to be honest.
Oh, you got to click that little microscope. Yeah, you definitely should. So it's well worthwhile. This guy here, I mean, there's no keeper sales history on this guy here.
I mean, I actually still do that, but I was going to Amazon's page to do that.
Oh yeah, you can do it right here now. There's also a cool little feature built in for those who've actually got Storefront Stalker, which is an add-on. There's not a lot of add-ons for tactical arbitrage. Actually, there's the option to get premium bulk lists from a third-party company called Tactical Bucket, and that's well worth it if you're in the wholesale space. And then there's one other add-on. We try not to do like those Android games you get, and you have to keep on sending money to unlock.
Yeah, it's called like freemium.
Yeah, I can't stand those kind of models. And the only reason we added Storefront Stalker as an add-on feature is because a colleague of mine in the space, Nate McAllister, had already created Storefront Stalker. I could totally see it would be a useful feature within tactical arbitrage. And then there's the gentleman's way of doing it, where you actually ask somebody to build a mutual relationship where 1 + 1 ends up equaling 3, rather than just me like stealing his idea. And
that I think is very awesome of you, and just showcases your character, Alex. Like, Alex is a great dude. Like, just real quick to pause everything. One time I was on Facebook, I believe, and some people were throwing some shade my way, some hate, and they were baiting me into trying to get into an argument and say some stuff. And I had typed out this whole thing full of cuss words and everything. Like, I was about to go off on them. And then a comment pops up on my feed, and it's Alex in the middle of the conversation just says, "Don't take the bait, Reezy." And I just go, huh, okay, cool. And then I just deleted my comment and like went about my day and forgot about it. And I just thought that was super cool of him. I'll never forget that, honestly, by the way, Alex. So Alex is a super cool dude. He could have totally just stole Nate's software, because it's not like it's patented or trademarked or whatever. It's hard to do that to these kind of software solutions anyways, and put it into his software, but he didn't, right? He already has the team, the programmers. He's a smart guy. He could do it, but he didn't. Instead, he built a bridge, instead of a wall. And I really respect him for that. And as you'll come to find out, if you get involved with tactical arbitrage or in the group, not only is the software amazing and do they maintain it very well, Alex is just like a stand-up dude. You want to drink a beer with Alex, trust me.
I'm glad to be having a beer with you right now, mate. Yeah, and the Storefront Stalker. Oh, that's a cool story, by the way. I didn't realize that you had that whole little piece typed out. But I mean,
dude, I was about to blow up on people.
Those guys were super aggressive that day, and sometimes I find that the FBA space goes through these little cycles where people might be on edge. Maybe it's that time of year or something, and they decide to, I guess, bully is the only word for it. pick a person and decide to do a bit of bullying, and I'm just not down with that at all. If we can't,
Yeah, well, there's just a group of people, and I'm not gonna smash those people or either, but it's just some people are smart enough to where they don't need help from anyone, and they might also have free time to figure stuff out, and they kind of look down on people that are making money off of providing services or information to other people, but they fail to consider the fact that like the people who are providing the software services, not all of them are doing a great job, but some of them are doing a great job providing a great service or software that is saving the customer's time and or making them more money. And different people have different various values that they put on their time. And so while some people might have a month to watch all 400 of my YouTube videos and learn anything for free, other person only has 2 hours a week and they would rather pay $500 for a course while they could take it in like an orderly fashion or something. And neither way is right or wrong. It's just what is more valuable to each person. And so if you're going to be in the information or the software space, you just have to kind of distance yourself from those people that are prowling around to I can't even describe it, but just like pounce on people for doing that stuff, because the truth is your customers appreciate you, and that's all that really matters.
I agree wholeheartedly. There's you've summed it up perfectly there. There's just haters in the space, and don't sweat the haters. Just keep being you. I'll touch on Stalker briefly.
Yeah, let's do it. It's definitely one of my favorite searches to do.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways you can run a reverse search, which is it's basically looking at Amazon ASIN and checking to see what reverse stores or what other stores in our catalog of stores have actually got this item with profit. But Storefront Stalker kind of makes it easy. If you select just a category from Amazon, and this is what will unlock if you purchase Storefront Stalker. Now, before you think Storefront Stalker is this massive prohibitive cost, I would not recommend you get anything unless you are comfortable with the tactical arbitrage software and you know that you're going to be able to generate profits with it. And B, when you are comfortable that you're going to be sticking with this in a sort of a semi-long-term sort of scenario, then I would recommend Storefront Stalker because of how much additional time it will save you and the fact that it's just a one-off cost. It's not you know, and I'm not here with dropping affiliate links or anything. This is a Nate McAllister product.
Don't worry, Alex. I'll drop the affiliate links. Leave it to me.
All right, no worries. If you reach out for Nate, he'll get you something.
I think I got one already. I'll put it down there later.
All right, cool. Well, you should definitely get Storefront Stalker. What it will do, I think it's somewhere. There's two tiers to it. There's either the 99 or the 199 tier, and the 199 comes with a cool Chrome extension that you can actually utilize at Amazon, and it'll extract ASINs for you that you can drop right in here.
I think he actually, I don't know if he just named the software very properly based on like how it was culturally being used, or if the cultural, because people actually say, I'm going to stock your store, I'm stocking this person's store, I'm stocking stores. And I don't know if that came, the chicken before the egg, I don't know which one. But when someone says they're stocking a store, or, you know, your worst nightmare, they're stocking your store. And that's why you really don't, you know, Amazon's not like eBay. A lot of us have replenishables or wholesale items. We don't want to share our storefronts with people because we don't want it to get stocked, because you're going to right click on our store. You're going to get a CSV of every item in our store, and then you're going to run it through tactical arbitrage, and you're going to find our suppliers.
Yet there's so much more to Storefront Stalker. I mean, it was named that, and Nate has said to me he wishes that maybe he'd chosen a different nomenclature for it, because Storefront Stalker itself is not just about stalking storefronts, but also in this case to scan a best sellers category. This isn't scanning anybody's storefront. This is just scanning, say, the toys and games category. And what it will do is it's going to start a 100,000 item scan of all the most popular, highest selling toys and games. Or you can drill down into, say, action figures and statues, and then from there maybe playsets and vehicles. And you can scan, if it's anything below level 1, you can scan, say, 5,000 ASINs of playsets and vehicles, for instance. And what it will do, if you've got Storefront Stalker, is it will unlock this bestsellers feature to allow you to scan these entire top-selling Amazon categories and search the tactical arbitrage databases for those profitable items. So that's kind of how that works. Now, where it does actually come in from a storefront perspective is if you have Storefront Stalker purchased and put into your settings, then on the Tactical Edge page, there's a little blue box that appears here. Now, if you click on the blue box, it's actually going to explore all of the sellers' ASINs in reverse search. So if you see a guy who's maybe appearing too many times in your searches and you're wondering, what the hell does this guy sell? And
you just see him, you're like, that's it. You're making too much damn money. That's too many times. 5 times in one day. I'm checking you out.
Yeah. Click on this guy and start. See, this is actually the seller name here is Sally Beauty. So this is them selling on their own items. So you have to watch that as well. It's difficult to undercut the actual the store themselves on Amazon, but it is possible.
Yeah, and oftentimes, just worth mentioning that sometimes that could come with dangers of risking inauthentic claims or whatever. Whenever I see that the actual manufacturer of the product is selling on Amazon, I'm slightly worried about selling it, especially if there's no other sellers on the listing. That's usually a big red flag.
Yeah, well, you can totally add into the settings as well domains that you wish to avoid, and of course brands that you wish to avoid. Let's say that you're getting too many ASICs appear in your listings, you can hit the exclude button there, and then whenever the software sees ASICs as a potential thing to lay down in the view data page, it'll just skip that one and save you the,
so you can block out brands that you're not able to sell.
Yeah, I use that a bit sparingly because you might like lock out something like Lego, but ASIN to ASIN, you might find that you can sell some Lego. What are they called? Lego sets,
right?
And other Lego sets you can't.
Right, and also, just because you can't sell it doesn't mean whether you're doing a bolo list or not. Why not throw that link to someone that you want to build a relationship with that can sell Lego? Because guess what? They're going to send you a link back.
Absolutely. I was just chuckling to myself then because there's a competitor coming out at the moment, and one of the comments that he put all over his wall was, obviously they haven't done image matching yet. It's a complicated process. It took 16 months for us to get it right. And one of their sales pitch was, don't use image matching. It's going to be inaccurate. And I'm just thinking, there's just absolutely no truth in that at all. Image matching is just consistently.
Well, it's not just image matching, correct? It's image and title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's image and title. So we do a funneling system. I don't want to get into it, but yeah. I mean, I can't give away too much, but we definitely integrate a combination of both image and title in an extremely advanced way that you can't just flippantly push image matching to the side as inaccurate just because you haven't managed to put that into your software yet.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, I won't get into the competitors. I find it comical more than anything else. We will continue to work hard and do our best.
You're too busy to worry about competitors.
Yeah, my wife actually, she comes out with some stuff sometimes because I mean I might walk into the next room and say, there's some guy. He's clearly ripping off what I'm doing. His filters are named the same thing. It's and it took me so long to come up with all this stuff. And she goes, babe, listen to me. If you spend time stopping to worry about the people on the ladder beside you, it'll stop your climb on the ladder. She says, stop trying to pull people down off the ladder. Just do your thing and just keep. And I'm like, all right, you're right.
Yep. It's also like there's that quote, I forget what it is. It's something like, winners don't look back to see, losers or whatever. And they're classically, I'll see it with like a picture of Michael Phelps, and he's winning the swimming race, but, and he's just so super focused, but you see the person who's in second and third, they're both looking at him, he's not looking at anyone.
I'm trying to turn my screen share off. Do you know how to do that?
Looks like you did it. You did it. No?
No. Just. Oh,
There you
there we
go.
go.
You're good.
So
You're back.
yeah, I mean, we covered a few things there. Did we cover everything? I mean, I'm open to any more questions. Was there any questions coming through the YouTube?
Let's see if we got any questions. Do you guys have any questions? I know there was one question that someone had from my mastermind group. Someone wanted to know, is there any training that you guys have in the way of making XPaths? Or if you do, is there any better training coming out? I think they were having trouble creating XPaths.
So XPaths are a little bit, the support for XPaths is limited. We have a document that is available for you to look at, which is on the site. But also, we recommend XPath 1.0 being the style of XPath. Now we are upgrading this so that it also accepts XPath 2.0, but currently XPath 1.0. You should actually XPath 2.0 doesn't actually let you unlock any more sites. XPath 1.0 is a slightly more complicated piece of code to write, but you can still unlock the same amount of sites. But there's nothing that my guys have ever been able to not unlock by only being limited to XPath 1. It's just an additional language that is available. But if you look on the sites like the Upwork and freelancer.com, look for an XPath 1.0 guy to help you make these paths, then that's going to help you add more sites.
Awesome. Do you have any recommended fulfillment services that people should use?
I've got two. Actually,
ones that you know people are using and having good results with.
I'll recommend three actually, because they often are closed to new members because they get so inundated. But the three that I would recommend are Prime Zero Prep, which is Brendan Sullivan's firm. Then there's FBA Prep and Ship, which is Ben and Monica Coombs out in Oregon. And the third one I don't know much about yet, but it's Charles Leslie is opening up a fulfillment center in Oregon as well. So any of those three guys, if you want to reach out to them, maybe mention that.
I did not know that site. That's Side Hustle Pros. Yeah, Charles Leslie.
Yeah. He's also got the Rockstars group, and I'm also in a fitness group of his where he is going to help me shave off a few kilograms that I put on in Vegas.
Yeah, awesome, right? If it's helping you, you know, that's awesome.
He would not approve of these beers right now, man.
It's okay. He left already. He was here earlier, but I'm pretty sure he left by now. So we won't tell him about that.
No worries.
Any general pieces of advice you have for people that are looking into tactical arbitrage? Maybe some mistakes they could avoid, or just general mindset stuff. Just anything that you could add to it. People that are looking into getting into tactical arbitrage.
I think one of the most important things, if you're new to this space, let's say you're just starting out in Amazon or you've heard about it, and maybe your first couple of shipments, you've encountered, say, a race to the bottom where people are fighting you for price and you haven't made as much profit. Don't be afraid to make a few mistakes. The iterations of making mistakes are only going to prevent you from making mistakes in future cycles of setting things in. And it might only take a couple of cycles before you're starting to see some sort of real, genuine profit. Now, this entire education and mistake period might only take you a few months. Now, when you try and compare that to a college degree that could take half a decade, cost you a mint, and come out the other side, and still you're not necessarily guaranteed to come out with a job, a 9-to-5 job at the end of it.
Right.
This is going to win every single time. I once had a guy come onto my wall and he started ranting at me about how tactical arbitrage, it looked like it was going to take him like watching a few hours of videos to get, you know, what kind of software is this? It's going to take me hours to get used to this software. And I'm like, dude, you're going to come out the other side of those few hours and you're going to be able to make some very, very real and genuine profit that you're going to be able to continue to build upon it. Compare that to, I don't know how long the college education is, but if you're not willing to put in a little bit of time and a little bit of effort and maybe burn through a couple of months of subscription on a couple of these things early on, then maybe you're not quite ready for this space. If you've got a little bit of capital and you're prepared to put in the time, then definitely you're ready for this space. But you have to be prepared to put in a little bit of time and a little bit of money to start getting ahead of the pack. Do you agree with that, Reezy?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a skateboarder. I grew up skateboarding, right? And so I learned at a very young age that if I want to land this trick, like for example, let's say one trick, a kickflip. It took me 2 years to learn how to do this trick, trying it for first like learning how to skateboard in general, and then 2 years later I finally did this trick, and I probably tried it. I want to say like 50,000 times before I actually landed one. And so, but every single time you don't land it, you learn a little bit. You get closer and you get closer and you get closer. So you have to understand that like failure is necessary to success. It's not the opposite of success. It's the stepping stone to success.
Absolutely. Yeah, you said it better. That's the like. Don't be disheartened if you have a few like failures along the way, because you only make them once. You go, all right, I can see why I did that. I can see why that happened this time. And so you build that into your next cycle. You build in that knowledge into your next cycle, so it doesn't happen again. And it just gets better and better, and then that profit will come.
Right. What I tell people is that because when I started doing FBA 13 years ago, there was no YouTube. There was YouTube, I believe, but no YouTube people teaching FBA. There was maybe a couple ebooks around. There wasn't a lot of information. And so people ask me, like, how did I become an expert, or how did I figure, and the answer is really simple. I made every mistake possible. Once you make every single possible mistake in a certain field, you are expert. That's all an expert is someone who's made every single mistake. There's no way anybody is an expert and they haven't made every possible mistake. You don't become an expert by being great and by working hard. You have to do those things, but you also have to fail many, many times.
Perfect analogy. Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you for joining me, Alex. If you guys want to check out Alex, you have a Facebook group. What is it called? Tactical Arbitrage?
FBA Tactical Arbitrage.
Yeah, that's where all the cool guys hang out. Go over to FBA Tactical Arbitrage. And there is a YouTube channel for Tactical Arbitrage as well, yeah?
Yeah, there's a Tactical Arbitrage YouTube channel.
That's where all the videos are actually hosted, yeah?
Yeah, I'm actually going to this week put all the instructional videos into a dedicated playlist so that they are in order. So somebody who doesn't want to necessarily watch them inside the platform can maybe start watching them in order at home before they even sign up for the trial. There is a trial you can do a tactical arbitrage as well. Is
trial 10 days or is it 14 days? I forget.
I think I've given you a code that gives people 10 days if they use your code.
Right. And the normal trial is what, 7 days?
Normal trial is 7 days, so it makes more sense for them to use your code if you've got one there.
Yeah.
I should have given you one. And
no, I do. I've put it in the link several times, so in the chat. So
that'll be 10 days. I think it cost a buck, and there was a reason why we changed it from free to $1, because something to do with some Brazilians trying to scam the system by running these free trials without credit cards over and over. But I think it costs like $1, and you get 10 days out of that. And at the end of the trial,
so it's not technically a free trial; it's a $1 trial now.
It's premium.
Side note: if you haven't seen this South Park episode on freemium, you need to go watch it. It's amazing. You ever seen South Park, Alex?
Oh, every episode.
Oh, awesome. I knew we'd get along. So, guys, if you want to sign up for Tactical Arbitrage, there's a link down below. You can go to Alex's Facebook group. You can ask people questions. You can learn a lot. You can go to the YouTube channel, which I'll put the link down there in the description. It's currently not there. You can send me questions if you need any help with it. But it's definitely something you should look into for supplementing your sourcing. Maybe you don't have a lot of locations near you. Maybe you're just tired of driving around. Maybe you don't have a lot of time. Maybe you want to hire VAs to help you. You want to send it to fulfillment centers. The great thing about online arbitrage is that it's location independent. You could be in Brazil. You could be anywhere in the world. and running tactical arbitrage scans, buying stuff, sending it to a fulfillment center, and then making money and not having to touch anything, not having to be anywhere. And that's like one of the that's I don't think that's ever been possible until like now, right? Like within the last 10 years with some business models. So thanks a lot for joining us on this one, Alex. We have a saying around here. We say, if you ain't flipping, you slipping.
I love it.
You got to say it.
Man.
It's mandatory. You got to say it.
Oh, if you ain't flipping, you slipping.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Please hit the like button. Please comment, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz, and check out the cards in the top for any relevant videos that I will add. And then I'll see you next Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern for another amazing Reezy Talks guest. And if you guys have Twitch, head over to Twitch and subscribe to my channel. I might go on there and play some games. You never know. Thanks for joining, guys. Have a good night.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. See ya.